After the amazing Season 3 dropped last week, I'm getting back to some speculation, and this time it's been pretty much laid out for us. Sea of Thieves' next chapter is already on the horizon, and before we crack on, there will be spoilers for a pirate's life. Without further ado, let's get on to the video. Cast your mind back to some of my speculation of what was going to happen with Flameheart, that he will be fully resurrected, or his son will take his place. Well, I was completely f***ing wrong about that, so Rare just clowned me. We know that definitely isn't happening in Season 3, however, we can still get more Flameheart in the future seasons. I think maybe Season 5 or later. Season 4 will probably be our smallest season yet, going off the massive content drop we just had. Back on topic. In the Dark Brethren Tall Tale, we get a massive bomb dropped on us in terms of lore, and there's so much to discuss here. We'll go over each member of the Brethren and why they might be there. There looks to be 5 chairs in the meeting room, so it looks like there's 5 key members. Let's start with the thing that shocked me the most, the Gold Hoarder's return. Ramsey outright said at the end of Shores of Gold that we'll see him again. A long while ago, Mike Chapman even tweeted that he had returned and is serving another lord that has promised him dominion over the sea. Is this Davy Jones? Well, no. We'll get to why soon. The Gold Hoarder is there for obvious reasons, the Aztec gold. It seems as though he hasn't learned his lesson from the time we kicked his ass and is still addicted to gold, even though it has a horrible effect on him. I do have to say though, his new design looks great, I really do love it. Next up is the Siren Queen. Even though she isn't present in the Tall Tale, she is still in an alliance with Davy Jones as he can summon the Kraken for them, described as their beloved daughter. This has some wild implications if taken literally. The reason the Siren Queen is there is due to revenge. The ancients actually killed her lover, and she has sworn vengeance on the humans for their treachery. It's hinted at in the Sunken Pearl that the king of the ancients had an alliance with the Sirens, who may have been the regular merfolk before, but the Siren King was slain for unknown reasons. His remains were buried in an unknown vault, which the second crew of the Silver Blade uncovered with the Chest of Everlasting Sorrow. The Siren King's remains seem to be the cursed bones hinted at before launch in those runes. The Warsmith, the Mysterious Stranger, or simply Wanda, is my favourite appearance, where we find out her reasons for joining from the journals hidden throughout the Tall Tale. Wanda has turned her back on Captain Flameheart as a lover scorned. She slowly began to realise that Flameheart was not taking much notice of her through his various battles with us. Wanda confronted him, asking for confirmation that her love was reciprocated, to which the absolute Chad just laughed in her face. This is such a Flameheart thing to do. Wanda was always just a tool for him to return, as was Stitcher Jim. This rejection caused Wanda to turn her back on him, swearing allegiance to the Dark Brethren, vowing she would help destroy the Sea of Thieves as Flameheart watched helplessly from the heavens. It appears Flameheart is running out of allies. The most shocking twist was seeing Duke there. I knew he was something more than just a random build rat, but didn't expect him to go full bad guy. I predicted Duke to become the Reaper, which we may be one step closer to now. It's unclear what was promised in order for him to join the Brethren, and his motives still remain shrouded in mystery. Wanda does talk about rejection from the build rats, but I don't think that's a clear-cut motive to become evil. The last member we have is Davy Jones, who has returned from beyond the grave, and he outlines the Brethren's overall goal, to sever the ties of immortality that the Sea of Thieves seems to possess. Jones wanted to take the ferryman's place by destroying the ferry of the damned for the Flying Dutchman to become the new ferry. The only way off the ferry and back to the living world was to swear allegiance to the Dark Brethren. This plan would see the Brethren as true lords of the sea, with control over life and death, which is terrible for all of us, the trading companies, the Pirate Lord and Captain Flameheart. Jones is made out to be the leader of the Dark Brethren, unless you pay close attention. Davy Jones is in service to another, as spoken by Wanda. Jones explains he's in service to the blackguard who absconded with his heart. Once we open the dead man's chest, we don't see his heart as expected, but a note for our journal. It reads, "I assume you received the trinket we spoke of when we last met. Make preparations. Then, when I hear tell of your victory, I'll make sail on the fastest tide. Kindest regards, Captain." As well as the Gold Hoarder outright asking where Captain is, it seems as though we'd finally be introduced to the original captain of the Burning Blade, but also the man who cursed Flameheart Jr, and maybe even Captain Flameheart himself. If you haven't read Tales from the Sea of Thieves, at the end of his journey, Flameheart Jr ends up on an island, where he is then lured to be cursed by the Chalice of Resurrection by a gentleman simply known as the Captain. The Captain was the original captain of the Burning Blade, but was marooned on an island by Captain Flameheart. The Captain really hates skeleton lords, so it seems he has a bone to pick with his mutinous first mate. The Captain had Davy Jones's heart, which is what caused Jones to bend the knee to him. So what does this mean for the future of the game? Well, after the fake out of the Silver Blade in Tall Tale 2 being nothing to do with Flameheart Jr, it does look like him and the Captain will finally be introduced after well over 3 years. This will definitely put Junior and Senior in a strange position, as both of them will be on opposite sides of this conflict. Wanda reveals some further information to their plans in one of her journals. She speaks of causing war with her skeleton fleet and teaching the pirates to war amongst themselves with the Reaper's bones. She received an invitation from the captain to create a war to end all wars for the Brethren. The Brethren plans to wage war across the Sea of Thieves to destroy the pirate's life. She states in her final journal that they're all here because of the pirate's life, and living it brought them all anguish in some way or another. Now it's time to end that life. The pirate's life is paramount to the Sea of Thieves, and now the Dark Brethren want to end it for everyone else. I can think of a few people that certainly won't like the sound of that, both who seem to be on opposite sides of the coin morally, but looks like they'll have to band together to save the Sea of Thieves. The Pirate Lord himself has celebrated a form of eternal life through Athena's fortune, and sees the Sea of Thieves as a way of escaping the real world. And Captain Flameheart, although reigning over fire and ash, will certainly not allow his moniker of Pirates of All Eternity to be threatened, but I think it will take a bit more for him to be convinced to join the good guy's side. That's where Flameheart Jr will come in, the only good side of Senior that exists, the boy who he adopted, raised and gave him everything, only to be cursed by his old captain, becoming the thing Senior never wished for his son. And if you look closely, he's been actively searching for him too. In the Sunken Pearl, one of Dimitri's journals reveals that after they raided the vault, the skeleton ships were after them straight away. He assumed it was due to the treasure on board, but it seemed they were trying to get the Silver Blade. Flameheart Sr has several skeletons loyal to him, and they would have been trying to recover the Silver Blade, trying to retrieve his son's ship. Think of it as a family heirloom. Seeing what has become of his son will cause Flameheart Sr to have a change of heart, bringing down the full might of the Ashen Fleet to crush the Dark Brethren. War is coming to the Sea of Thieves, and it'll be the war to end all wars. Thanks for watching. It's time for the weekly Obsidian 6-pack giveaway, which includes this fancy Eye of Reach. All you have to do is subscribe, comment your answer to the weekly question and like the video. The last step is optional, but it really does help me out, so I'd be much appreciated if you could do that for me. This week's question is, who was your favourite character in Sea of Thieves and why? Make sure you comment your gamertag too. The winners will have the 6-pack added to their account automatically. Good luck everyone. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.